All right, welcome everyone to the second episode of the Introductions to Titan Talk. I have with me three other members of our family of alliances in Titans of Yggdrasil that will be going over some questions to let you get to know them. We don't usually get to know people that aren't streamers, so we have a streamer, a Twitch guy that's around on Twitch all the time. When you have somebody that's kind of, not in either a lot, but dabbles here and there in this episode. So just want you guys to get to know them. They are part of the alliances and they are friends of ours and part of our family. So they can introduce themselves as we go along. Let's start here to my left with the green screen background.
G'day everyone, Waltmillsy. Glad to be here. I'm part of two accounts now. I still don't play them good enough, but I'm in Musselheim and Jotunheim, or Jotunheim, with our R silent. No, it's a silent R? I don't know.
Jotunheimer.
Yeah, it was close. My accent makes it sound like I say it weird.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, the other one is Muspelheim.
That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Where you had to bring a second account in just to pick up my slack.
Yeah, it's true. All right, so what's your current build there, Walt?
My current build that I'm working on?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually not out of time because I haven't been spending as much recently. So I brought up my hive mind and I'm still working on sus. So I'm going to say I go back and forth between raid teams because I've got this like cluster leader that's always on the case for like raids. Don't worry about Crucible. And then so I go back and forth. So I just need to get one more character for Cosmic, which is going to be the coolest Asgardian around, who's got a long history of not being in comics. So Vol.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back to working on...
I wonder why they're not in comics. That's interesting.
Funny that.
Yeah. All right.
So it falls on raid teams, working on Vol, and then we'll be back to the next raid team, which hopefully will be... I guess it's probably going to... I don't know. The Cabal will fit in there somewhere. I'm sure.
Nice. That'll be a good one, too. All right, Boba, introduce yourself.
I'm Bobatrooper. I've been... I'm at 38.7 TCP right now. I'm with Nidviller. And current build I'm working on right now is out of time for the wars, and then I'm going back and forth with some of the raid teams, trying to really get my extreme and my hive mind up there. I know they're probably good enough now, but I can't stop building raid teams.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. And the ones we've had lately, actually, we'll get into it later, but they've actually been working for war and other modes too, so it's actually kind of nice. All right, and how about above me here? Introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I am Echo 2108, also in Nibdelur. I am just under 41 million TCP. I'm currently in limbo at the moment for what I'm building. So for a stopgap, I'm doing some new Avengers and taking up Mockingbird for a little bit while I wait on Cosmic Ghost Rider. I've got both, or the rest of Outer Time up at 95 G18, with the exception of Carter, because it's not as fun. I'll bring it up at some point. So yeah, bringing up Mockingbird up to 90 G17 while I wait, and yeah, annoyingly close to scroll now. I am 12 mini uniques off a Mega Red, and then good to go.
Nice. Yeah, that's very close. And then those last couple nodes, they fly right through. So absolutely.
Yep, exactly.
And then a quick question. We didn't ask this last time, but you're free to play, right, Echo?
I only buy, well, I didn't used to be. I now only buy the 2 passes.
The 2 passes, so the Battle Pass and the Strike Pass.
Yeah,
yeah,
the 2 passes.
Boba, you are completely free to play, though, correct? No?
I don't buy any characters, but I will. I did buy a couple offers because they're giving you the like gift card type thing for the screw up that they had last week. so I bought a couple of those offers. So I'll get my Ultra Cores, and then I'll probably buy a Strike Pass. I probably buy a Strike Pass a month or a Battle Pass, whichever one I want the characters on.
Gotcha. And then, Walt, you only spend your wife's money on this game, right?
Kids' college funds.
Oh, that's what it is.
No, here, I'm very very similar to Echo. So I'm sure he does the same. But yeah, I buy the Ultra Cores and then buy the offers because they're pretty good value, and it saves you a couple of months, I think, and especially at the moment, the current Battle Pass, I think it is, it has the items that I need to bring Vol up, so Vol.
Oh, yeah.
So you'd definitely be getting that unique.
Right. And then Echo. So how many alliances have you moved up through in Yggdrasil so far?
This is my third. So I was I joined in Muspelheim, then I joined in Jotunheimer, then Muspelheim. Now I'm here.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it had been 3. I wasn't sure if it was 4. And then Boba, you jumped right into Nidavellir, yeah? Or you were in Asgard?
Muspelheim.
Oh, you were in Muspelheim.
Okay. Yeah, with Walt. I remember Walt was in our alliance there for a minute.
Yeah, because, okay, so you and Echo came over the same time to the Nidavellir, then you were in that move, right? You were right about the same time. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, Walt, you've been in almost all of them now, yeah?
Yeah, I think I had 3 accounts when I met you.
Right.
I was coming back into the game, and then you were like, here, have this 4th account. It's higher than yours. And I'm like, oh, sheesh.
Yeah, because we had a player retire. That's right. We had Ironheart retired. And so, yeah, you ended up grabbing his. And then that one stayed at Muspelheim, and you came up through Alfheim and Jotunheimer and Niflheim and something else, too. Yeah.
Yeah, then I think I dropped back to that, like leveling one. I don't know if it's still a leveling one.
Yeah. I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Jotunheimer. Yeah, where your younger account is now.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so moving on here. Let us know one thing about you that you find interesting or that maybe we would find interesting about you. Let's start with the newest to us, and that's Echo.
Well, there's a couple which I'm choosing between. One, I became a father nearly 3 weeks ago.
So congrats.
I was born on the 27th. All well and healthy, and I am, just about getting sleep each night.
I was gonna say that's why I was kind of surprised to see that you had no rings around your eyes when you got on camera. I was like, oh wow, he's actually sleeping.
Yeah, no, we've got a plan. So I'll stay up typically till 4 in the morning, and then myself and my partner will switch over, and then we'll try and have like an hour or so nap each throughout the day.
Nice.
But yeah.
All right, and then Boba, how about you?
I got 3 kids, so I went through that 3 times.
It was fun.
Now they're old now. So like 21 is my oldest son. So he just finished his 2-year degree, and so he's still pretty dependent on me. But he's autistic, but he's pretty high functioning. So he's a pretty cool kid. So he knows a lot of interesting facts. So. But he's got started his first job, which is pretty awesome. So I'm pretty proud of him. So
that's great. So what is the most interesting fact he has brought to you?
A lot of the things he talks about are climate stuff or space. That's usually the things he is really looking at. So
because it just basically gets hyper focused in that, right?
Yep.
That's awesome, dude. Cool. All right. Well, what might we not know about you that you'd find interesting, you want to share with me?
What's interesting that you don't know about me? I do keep it kind of quiet, but I'm active serving and been serving in the military for 23 years. I think that's pretty cool. It's like more than half my life because I'm only young 40. Yeah. That's pretty interesting. I had a pet kangaroo called Joey. No, I didn't, but that sounded pretty cool, didn't it, guys?
You're like, I didn't, but that sounds cool, right?
Cool, Dave.
You don't let the truth get away with a good story.
It's a kangaroo named Joey. Yeah, that's about as spot on.
Just called out my bias. Everybody in Australia has a kangaroo. Yeah.
Right. All right, so let's start with Boba on this one. What brought you to Marvel Strike Force?
So I started playing Marvel Strike Force. I think it was in like April of the pandemic, this 2020, so or 2020. So it was right smack dab when the pandemic started. I was actually playing like a couple different gacha games. I was playing. I don't really Clash of Clans or Clash Royale. I played that, and then I played Raid Shadow Legend. And I was actually I started watching Darth Transaction, and he was playing. He started up MSF. I had seen a couple of their ads on YouTube and stuff, and that's kind of when I started, right when he started. So I got to give it a chance then.
Darth Microtransaction, huh? I've heard of that guy a few times. So okay, cool. So you got you introduced to it during COVID.
Yep.
So you're pretty young. That's what, 4 years. So that's yeah. That's cool.
2020. So yeah.
So that was what, right around Captain Marvel, right around her, like
Domino was the release.
X-Force.
So it was I couldn't get the I couldn't do the event. I think I could do like one node, like they give you that one node, and I kept spamming that every day. So I did not get her that time, but like that was like Symbiote Spider-Man type time, I think.
Oh, okay.
When he was his event thing right around there. Yeah.
Gotcha. All right, then Echo, how about you?
Yeah, I also started in April 2020.
Oh.
I took a large gap in the middle, and I came back April of last year. So I'm at, I believe, 773 days total in game. Yeah, I remember I left. It was just either just before or just after the Adam Warlock release.
Oh, gotcha.
And then I got into it because it was during COVID, so I had a lot more time on my hands, despite working from home. But yeah, distractions.
Right.
And I wanted a game that I could sweat out without just hitting a completion, and I really like the Marvel IP, and so here we are.
Gotcha. And yeah, that Adam Warlock, that was the first one that not only had stars but also gear levels. So that would have made anybody want to quit. I do understand that. So cool. I'm glad you came back, and I'm glad that I found you.
Yeah.
All right. How about you, Walt? What brought you to MSF?
I used to play Swogo and Transformers Earth Wars, and I bounce through games. I get distracted and move forward and back. I started around the start. I don't have the date, but my count's like 1.6 million like player ID. Played for probably 7 months, and then went bouncing around the world, I guess, with work in the Navy. So I came back probably January last year. I came back.
Gotcha. And so a little bit of a gap there as well. So Boba, you played straight through from when you began, right? Slowly and McTreat.
No, I stopped too.
You had a little gap.
I stopped.
Huh?
14 months, yeah. After when Doctor Strange came out, I think I stopped. So I didn't get any of those.
Oh, Heartless,
Darkhold, or anything like that. So it's been a grind to get back into the quote unquote end game. So,
gotcha. So all you guys did take a little bit of a gap. Cool.
Yep.
All right.
I've been back for over about a year now. So yeah.
Nice. All right. So that'll be something going forward. It might be coming into play then with some of these. And then what keeps you playing this time around, Echo?
I'm quite enjoying the game in general, to be honest. I think a big part of it is also the community we have here. I find just having the community itself is enabling me to enjoy the game a lot more. Whereas beforehand, it was very much I had little to no communication with anyone else in the Alliance. But before I took a break, and so I guess having like zero communications, it's very easy just to switch off.
Right. Yeah, it makes it it's kind of like a mundane drag of your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. All right, Boba, how about you? What keeps you in Marvel Strike Force?
So I'm going to echo the what Echo had said there. So sorry about that. But, it's the camaraderie with the community. That's my main thing for staying in the game. And I've always been like a collector. So like since I was a kid, I used to collect baseball cards and all that, Magic cards, whatever. I still have them all, and I still have this game too. So
Nice.
nice. If you leave, you come back, you still have everything. It kind of reminds me of that a little bit. So
Gotcha. All right, Walt, what got you? What keeps you playing these days?
Yeah, look, obviously very, very similar stuff. We have addictive personalities. We like to collect stuff. The community's great. It's the fact that Scopely, Boundless, whoever you want to mention, they're onto it. They like, if we keep fucking up, then the community's gonna just like hate on us, but they're gonna love each other. So
Right.
they give the support structure for a
Controlled chaos.
Yeah, that's it. So obviously, the community is great. There's times when I have lulls, and you definitely probably can see it when I'm like not hitting my walls as much as like is starting to get to that point where he's given up. And then it might be like it might be a character, or it might be a stream. Like I'm a big fan of Taco Shooter's streams, and he's just a character. It was good seeing him on this morning, just before Mobile Gamers started getting back into those Sunday streams. But yeah, everyone has like lulls, and I think that's what's great about this cluster community. It's like if you're like, hey, I'm tapping out, like Biz will probably give you are you sure? But
What?
off you go, and when you come back, we'll have a spot for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do that. That happens more than I would like for it to happen, but it does happen. All right, so let's go with you, Walt. Let's go back to you with this one. Who is your favorite character or team to play with, and why would that be?
It changes a lot. I think one of my favorite Marvel characters has always been Gambit, and he's very enjoyable to play with, especially with the extreme. He'll hurt, especially when I like fighting him, because now, especially you don't plan that getting him under 50%, and like it can devastate you. You can be like, oh, I've got this team in the bag, and then Gambit just wrecks you.
Yeah.
So I like playing against and playing as Gambit, but I think one of my favorite characters in the game is the Red Guardian. I think he's a good-looking rooster.
What? How would that?
And when I decided to finally do a cosplay, I'm like, who could I cosplay as? I'm a little bit overweight, and I've got a beard. I reckon I could do a Red Guardian cosplay.
Walt Guardian, very famous character in the MSF community. Absolutely.
Costume's coming next year, I think.
Yeah. All right, Echo, how about you? Who's your favorite character or team to play with, and why?
So individual character would be Quicksilver. I find even just on his basic, Gurn Twice is very nice, but it's deceptively high damage on that on his basic.
And Quicksilver has nothing to do with the fact that you kind of look like the guy, right? That's nothing to do with it. No?
I hadn't noticed, but no.
Oh, okay.
No. Yeah, I noticed he's been very handy through like DD6 run around.
Great in dark.
As well. Yeah. Team-wise, I'm split between either Nowhere or Pegasus. Nowhere and Wolf is just, stupidly good.
Do you want high damage right off the bat with somebody that comes back, or do you want consistency and stability? Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, exactly. And I've done the typical build, Nova to the moon, and the others can hopefully stay alive for a bit. Well,
right.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing though with Kestrel, so it's kind of funny. Yeah, both are very similar in that, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Very good builds, very good teams to play with. Good choices.
Yep.
All right, Boba, how about you? What's your favorite team or character to play with?
My favorite team to play with that I've played with, with the whole time has been the symbiote. That was when we got our little things or whatever that showed what team you played with before, what players you used the most or whatever. 4 of them were symbiotes. So that's my all-time favorite MSF team that I've had. So, But right now, I do like the Secret Defenders. I got them built pretty high, so I like to play with them on war offense sometimes. I know it's not the best place to put them, but I do like them. Play with them there. But my favorite character though, I think we got it's Wolverine. It's always been Wolverine. I think people can relate to him. So because he doesn't know how to talk to women, and I think most of us that are playing this game don't. So
yeah, scrappy little guy too, like little fuzzy. Yeah, I can relate.
He's stuck in MSF though. So
yeah, yeah. Maybe one day it'll get better, right? Cool. All right. Well, those are all. I like that everybody's a little different. And some is because you look like them. Other ones because it's you can relate to him. The other ones are because he's just freaking awesome in the game. Like that's cool. All right, awesome. So who's your favorite person to chat with on your team, your strike team, maybe in Discord or in the game, or just to give a hard time to, with our family? So let's go with Echo since you're the newer one to it.
So I guess this one was probably the one I was stuck on the most. I'd say the one person sort of stand out to me is Hondor. Yeah, we'll just chat about whatever, D&D, Marvel, wherever it's at. He's typically poking his head around the corner.
Gotcha. Yeah, Hondor is a very active member in chat, that's for sure, especially in Discord. And it hasn't gotten on my nerves at all lately, so that's kind of cool for him too. So remember back in the early days, oh my gosh, I was like, really?
Yeah.
So yeah, okay. So Hondor, there we go. Okay, how about you, Bubba?
I can't. My boy Marky, he's me and Marky have been in so many alliances forever. So we're in the same arena shard. And back when I first started, there was a little bit of collusion in that arena shard, and I think Marky got annoyed with some of them. So, but yeah, Marky for sure. Vander, love hearing his candor, and Hondor, and of course you, Boff.
Nice. Yeah, I try to get in everybody's conversations. It's a little bit annoying sometimes, but yeah, I'm glad to have Marky back with us too. He should be on one of these Titan Talks here coming up. So yeah, I'm glad to have him with us. All right, how about you, Walt? Who do you chat with? Who do you like talk with?
Who do I like to talk with? Well, as you know, I probably definitely slack a bit in the Discord, but whoever pops into me into my streams, but probably you are the one that I talk to the most. Just bantering here and there.
I mean, it's not like we did, YouTube shows together or anything. Like,
no, definitely not. Definitely not.
It's not like I talk to you outside of stream and just chat with you about how the weather is doing over there or anything.
Yeah.
No, that doesn't make sense at all. All right.
Well, if I didn't talk to you, I would have been out of the bloody cluster months ago. So.
Well, don't be threatening me like that. I'll go right down to Australia and throw a kangaroo in your house. So, all right. So with the chatting, do you guys, just a quick, which one you'd rather? Do you prefer chatting in game Discord, or do you have another way? Like, Walt, you were bringing up stream, so is that your preference? Like, why don't you take this one first?
Yeah, I think I know for me, when I start to sort of get busy, lose interest, or time or whatnot, I think someone like you popping in going, "Oi, 2 hours left on war." I'm like, "Oh shit, yep." Especially if I'm not like streaming MSF. But yeah, then I'd say Discord, direct messages. I definitely need to improve my going into the cluster and reading stuff. I sort of get like, oh, I've got my lane. I'm pretty sure they'll let me know if it changes.
Yeah.
So I'm very slack on that point. And then, yeah, I'm not really close with a lot of other people to use any other messaging systems. Like, I don't know if there's any people that like use Facebook, or I don't know if there's you just still Insta account or whatnot.
No, I don't do Insta. No, that's not me. All right, how about you? How about you, Boa? What's your more likely thing to use?
I use Discord a lot, but I do get some information from Twitch too. So I'm bouncing around, like you said, Twitch streams and stuff like that. But yeah, in game, not so much.
I think I've hit you a couple times in Twitch to like do things or check something. So yeah, I got you. But not
Yeah, I'm on different streamers' streams quite a bit, just watching stuff in the background when I'm supposed to be working. So when I am working,
4-letter work. You're working right now?
no, I don't work.
Oh, that would be awesome if you were working right now. You're like, yeah, I'm at work and doing this.
No, never happens. Work.
Okay, all right. How about you, Echo? What do you prefer?
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. Discord, for me. Yeah, I guess the only other option I would have is like in game, but the lack of notifications there from like chat messages, makes that very challenging. So yeah, Discord for me.
Yeah, because when you go to say something and then it gets filled with everybody else's unlocks or whatever, you got to scroll all the way up, and then there's only a limited amount and then a limited number of types. And something we brought up last time maybe is having a way to sort those, but I don't. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess also I play solely on mobile as well.
Okay.
Then I imagine chat would be easier on a laptop or PC there, but mobile then just condenses everything down even further.
Right. Yeah, I can get that. Absolutely. And somebody had said in chat that my OnlyFans, but I don't have an OnlyFans. So don't try to spread that rumor. Jeez, nobody wants pics of this guy. All right. So who was your most memorable unlock and why? And let's go with Boba because you've been a little bit longer, and then we'll go Echo.
So it kind of piggybacked on something Echo said earlier, but my most memorable would have been when I got Adam Warlock. It was the first time around. Unfortunately, it's not all positive when it comes to the unlock because they just put like Polaris like on the shard or the campaign spot like a week prior, and I was like coring that and trying to get Polaris because I had no shares of Polaris.
Yeah.
And I ended up having to buy one of those crappy like $20 offers for like 20 character shards.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my most memorable. But Adam Warlock in Arena, that team was so awesome for quite a long time. So
yeah, and the unlock for Warlock with Polaris, like you're saying, it was a few weeks before his release, and the campaign, the levels that we had to get him, because you had to get him to like 14 to unlock, and the 14 back then was like what 17 is now. So you had to do that right off the bat as soon as you got her, and you didn't have the gear for it. Yeah, it was tough. Plus the stars, like, oh yeah, it was insane. I got you. How about you? Okay, go ahead, Echo. What was yours?
So I have one positive one and one annoyingly expensive one. Okay. The positive one was Emma Frost. I was having a look at the chlorable orbs when she was released. I misclicked it and pulled the 180.
Ooh.
So I was very happy there, especially with how meta she was on release.
Yeah.
The sad one was Star-Lord, the OG, back when the cadence was the release come around like every 3 months or so.
Okay.
And that was when I was a brand new player as well, where at that point, Guardians were somewhat relevant, or they were relatively strong as far as teams went at that point, and I spent an unholy amount of money to ensure I picked him up that time around. And yeah, now he sits on the shelf.
Where is he now? Yeah. Oof. Okay.
Yeah. I want to say he's peaked at level 60.
Peaked.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about you?
Mine's a weird one. Mine's actually Weaver, and don't laugh. So it's not the character. It's more. That's pretty much when I started the game up again. So like my first strike pass. Coming back.
Walked right into that 3,000 shards.
I've got this character who's like really, really good and is like full unlock.
Okay.
And then I wasn't in any of the sort of communities then, so like I just started watching people on Twitch, and then I found out that there was this mistake. I didn't think the game developers made mistakes, and then just that was like my starting journey to like getting into the bigger space around the game. So I think that's why it's actually memorable.
Okay.
But yeah, there's been a lot. Like before that, I was actually going to say Star-Lord because it was like one of my first ones. Like I returned to the game with Best Kree team as my highest built team. And then Red Hulk was actually good too because yet again I just came back to the game and got into those scourges, and I really like that game mode. And I felt like you really, even though the legendaries you had to like get a certain team and work for it, I felt this one was a bit more skill based, I guess, in a sense, like to get more shards that run.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Like you actually had to build around and work your way through rather than just have the stars, you got it. And I think Ebony Maw was one that was like that too. Not only did you have to get it leveled up, but it was also the levels were very difficult. So you had to play them right and you had to not lose Heimdall. And if you lost Heimdall, it was like you got wrecked. So yeah, okay, cool. All right, well, thank you, Walt. All right. So what is your biggest pet peeve in MSF? It can be anything from gameplay to the way the game works to, whatever you want it to be, Scopely in general, the web store, whatever you think, your biggest pet peeve. And let's go with you first this time, Echo.
I guess one which is annoying for me is blatant lack of QA. So particularly around event start times. So as soon as it starts, you can almost, at any sort of blitz event which you're gaining an additional currency for, you can almost guarantee the first half hour you're not getting any of the currency. And yeah, then the subsequent compensation, which comes through a few days later, seems very repetitive but very avoidable at the same time.
Yep. I absolutely agree with all those statements. All right, how about you, Boba?
So my biggest pet peeve in MSF is some of the classic characters that people think would be awesome are terrible. So like Wolverine, Iron Man, OG Spider-Man, like
Star-Lord.
they're terrible. Star-Lord, yes.
Poor Echo.
The reason people join the game, their teams those players are just so bad. So
yeah, we just had a Guardians movie and they're trash. Like,
yeah. That's my biggest pet peeve.
I agree.
It's like punching yourself in the face.
Yeah. Well, they do that quite often, so they know how it feels. All right, Walt, how about you? What's your biggest pet peeve?
Before I get into that, just to piggyback off Boba's, I think like a solution to the shelved characters, or the bench characters, I'll say, you can't really use that word in the wrong way, would be like every weekend or something, they get like a 20% buff to that team. So, for that time and place, they make them usable. So it would shape up the meta for the week because these characters have got a bit of a buff, maybe, I don't know, something like that. But back to the question, biggest pet peeve, mine would be that there's no mechanic when you accidentally don't log in for a day due to, real world circumstances. Like even just to spend, 100 power cores or something to, if you miss a day, like a catch up mechanic in that regard, or the calendar, I think, really, there is people that, aren't hardcore, addicts like us that, something might pop up that will ruin that streak. So that's probably one of my pet peeves.
Yeah, they've talked about the $1 whatever purchase to get your streak back, power core purchase to get your streak back, but nothing's actually been implemented yet. But yeah, I can see how that'd be bothersome, especially with people like Voltic, which is in our family, that it seems like every week he lost his streak and he's like, I've opened it every day. I don't understand. Like that would drive me nuts after a little while. So yeah. All right. And then, this one we got next is, what is the biggest punch up you've had or most memorable attack in War or Crucible that you've had? It can be recent or right off the bat or just something that you remember, from back in the day, whatever suits you. Why don't we go with Walt first on this one?
Yeah, I think I can't remember the exact teams and people. I don't have any videos to back it up, so you just have to believe me. I haven't made up a made-up story yet, except for the Canberra one. No, it was probably like I think I had like a 30 mil punch up, and I got in and got my attack done. I checked my score. I was like, oh, it's a pretty solid score. And then I had a look. They didn't have a score yet, and I'm like, it was the first round. I was like, oh, yeah, this team's pretty high. You know, they're either not going to rock up or they're going to beat me. And I checked like 2 hours before, and I was like, oh, they haven't attacked yet. And I was like, yep, sweet. And then they ended up starting to attack in the last like 2 hours. And I won by 1 point, and I was like so stoked because I was like, I was going to get smashed here. Yeah.
You said a 30 million punch up
like,
too?
Yeah.
That's
it was like insane.
nice.
It was about, it was a couple of months ago. I don't remember which team it was that tripped them up. I think it might have been, it was like, oh no, actually it might have been longer ago. I think it was like maybe the Weaver.
Well,
yeah, anyway. It was something that did something, and I just remember I won by 1 point, and I was a big punch up.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. In Crucible. Okay, cool though. No, that's awesome. 30 million. Yeah, I'll take that. All right, Boba, how about you?
So the one I like to punch up the most with is the Eternals. That's the one I like to use the most because it's so quick. It's like either you do it right or you die. And so that's my most the one that I like to use the most. But the one that I just used yesterday worked pretty well with out of time that you gave me. The out of time with the I put stuff in there because I don't have Cosmic Ghost Rider, but that punched up 700k against the APOC Eternals. And but the one I remember from back in the day was always the symbiote against Asgard, because Asgard used to be you just generate all that turn meter from all those drags. That was my favorite one. So
yeah, that
could be millions. You could punch out millions.
Yeah, that was always fun. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, how about you, Echo?
My one was from last season in War. The feel-good factor of going in with Undying on the massive rebirth teams that were about due to the war buffs, easily in excess of 1.5 million punch-ups, which was, I think, exaggerated by the low powers for zombie jugs due to the lack of stars and whatnot. But yeah, easily in excess of 1.5 million, like consistently as well. And you just shut down which would have been like one of the higher, or definitely one of the higher defenses they had up on there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and every time too, and it was easy.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. Yep, I agree. All right, if you were to bring one character to the game, who would it be and why? And let's go with Boba on this one first.
I think we need a new Wolverine. I mean, we have quite a few new doubles. You can get, you can have an old man Wolverine, you can have any kind of Wolverine. But the reason why is because I think he has like some gamer cat qualities. He's kind of a loner. And then, as I said before, he's uncomfortable around the fairer sex. So that's why I had to bring him in.
Okay.
Plus, I always like X-Men. So.
Right. Oh, yeah, X-Men are always great. How about you, Walt?
Before it even, came into the hint in the extreme was Professor X, but in the chair. And I think a lot of people feel the same way. I think that classic, 90s cartoon that we all watched, which is almost here again in 97, without
20th.
Professor X. But anyway, yeah. Big fan of X-Men. And another one is Sauron, the pterodactyl dude, the green dude. I think he like whenever I see Vulture, like just because it's green with wings, I'm like it's easy to bring him in. And I think because he's got that sort of mind hypnosis sort of abilities, which you could have a sort of similar to Emma's usefulness. Like I think he'd be a good part of a team. So there's like a Savage Land team maybe, or bring Sinister back with a rework and.
Yeah, I like that. I like Sauron. That works for me. Echo, how about you?
So my favorite Marvel film was Thor Ragnarok, and so
Really?
I'm sort of split between three. They can have any you want from this: Odin, Grandmaster, or Surtur.
Mm. Mm. Okay. So if we're gonna go Surtur, would that be a world boss, like alliance boss?
Yeah, could do like a massive raid boss. Or Alliance chips in, and then the their leaderboard for it, which naturally they'll want, is alliances which do the most damage.
Right. I like Surtur would be cool to see. Such a big, imposing character. Yeah, I got you. Cool. And then Odin, and who was the other one?
The Grandmaster.
Oh, Grandmaster, the one that's putting on all the games and stuff. I got you.
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be cool with that. Okay. All right. So now we're getting to the nitty gritty of Scopely and what they're doing. So let's see. Let's go with Boba first on this one. What do you think about the current events, and how would you change them if you could?
Okay, so there's a lot of things we could potentially change here. I think one of the easier things they can change would probably be the challenge rewards. They kind of need to fit the content of the game. Like, if you're gonna make harder content in the game, you have to have a plan to update your orbs that you're getting from these events. I mean, it's like, what do I need this like orange gear for? Like, why is orange gear the highest thing I can get with this challenge reward? So I think they should update those. I think they should, they should match it to when they have new gear tiers and new types of, equipment, and have some sort of plan. It just seems like they're flying by the seat of their pants. Like, some of the stuff doesn't even have any green gear in it yet, and we're off of green gear now. So
Right.
So that's the thing I would change.
So updating the challenges, the daily challenges.
And your reward content, like, it should match what you're trying to push in the game.
Okay. How about you, Echo?
I feel as if they always try to overcomplicate some of the events. Like having to either spend incursion energy, power cores, or using specific teams in war at specific star levels. I feel that trying to cram too much into one.
Yeah.
It could, if they wanted to try and have each of those split them up into a separate milestone with their own sort of targets associated for each. So for incursion energy, we're getting, let's say, spending up to 1,000 a day for if people want to core a little bit on that, and then have a separate one for war attacks. And it also, I guess, could also help you sort of identify your own areas of improvement as well. So as opposed to, I'm going to underperform in war, but just for the heck out of incursion, so I don't miss out. But then it sort of allows you to better manage where you're putting your time and energy in the game.
Okay. All right. How about you, Walt?
This is a tough one because I think current events and how would I change them. So not thinking of just myself, but looking at every player in the game. You've got obviously your newer players, your returning players, your whales, your krakens, whatever. Everyone's going to want a different thing based on where they sit. So like we said before, our memorable moments were like some of these unlocks that we had to work for. So right now, a lot of people don't have that same experience with the events because they can use so many different characters, So on one hand, yes, it's easy. You don't have to invest in characters that aren't, in-game anymore. But then, some people actually want to earn it the right way. They don't want to just, be giving something. Like you get Doc Ock straight away when you start the game now, where, that's probably, a character that a lot of people had to invest in the right team. So you go back and forth whether, is it a good change or a bad change. The current events, the way they're going, and that thought process is where this came from. So the scourges, it's like, oh, you actually really got to build up, rebirth or whatnot now to get them rather than wait for the next turn to come around. So it's like, on one hand, I was frustrated that I've actually got to work the team up. But then I'm like, well, other people had to, do this. So, it's, it's just part of the game.
But we had to do it
Just
with free.
invest that way. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and the minion teams and all that stuff. So yeah, I think it's it's a fine line. You're obviously not always going to make everyone happy. Everyone's going to hate something that someone loves, and vice versa. But in terms of the events, I think I enjoy a lot of them. Even blitzing to a point. I think, I do see people talk about, having like the option to opt into events and stuff like that, and not, actually, you have to go into it. Like, well, everything's an opt-in. If you don't want to do Crucible, you don't have to. You just miss out on a currency to get some pretty good characters. Or you can do what Biz does and just order. I think
Just auto.
there's events in the works that we don't know about. I think there's definitely something coming. But yeah, I like the tower events and whatnot that are working in. I think what Boba said, I think the currency, like especially with the Blitz currency, like with the items, like remember that it's all got, we've all got hundreds and thousands of them sitting there because that only goes to the purple gear. It's like update that to go to the orange, teal, the crimson or whatever the new one is. And
Yeah. I kind of like demonic, but it's whatever. Crimson. Yeah, I got you. All right. So, final question of this Titan Talk is, if you were to change one thing about MSF, what would it be? And let's kick it off with Bobatrooper.
So Echo kind of mentioned this already, but I would test the code prior to releasing the code. I don't know why that seems like such a crazy concept, but that is the main thing I would do. I think you lose trust in your player base when you release code that's garbage, and put in a little extra time and maybe don't release the code if it has issues. So that's what I would do.
Okay. Well, how about you?
Change one thing. I think, the alliance, like raid battles, like the one thing I'd really liked in Swogo was when the Rancor's there and everyone just keeps attacking it. That was like one of the best parts about that. So going back to one of the previous questions, like having that big turtle there and you bring your team in, I don't know how they would do it, but yeah, even if you could see, well, there's 4 spots, so 4 different, alliance members could be attacking it at the same time, and you can actually see them in real time. I don't know if they could ever do that, but that would look so cool. If you all are doing your attack and then Boba comes and you see him doing his attack on the other side, it's like something like that would be awesome. But I don't know how to make games. That's probably definitely too hard if they can't even release events about issues.
Right, yeah, that scale just went whoop to the top. All right, how about you, Echo?
I mean, feeling like a bit of a cop-out with it, a Simul Blitz would be lovely. I think a more realistic one could be a sort of a battle summary report after each sort of, say, war attack or whatnot, where you can essentially see who's done what damage, who's healed X amount. I've seen it done in other games similar. And so, yeah, it seems like it would be very much possible.
Gotcha. That would be cool. And that would let me know how exactly they calculate the damage done in war, because I want to know how that's done. So that would be nice to sort of
reverse engineering.
Yeah, exactly. There's been a lot of nights spent just doing different math things, trying to figure it out, and it's difficult. Cool. All right. Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate every one of you for coming and doing this with me, and hopefully people get to know you inside the family of our alliances and then outside as well. And I hope to have more of these in the future, and then mix you guys up a little bit and have more of a general discussion, maybe about a couple of topics, and do more of like the pardon the eruption type thing, like something like that, and bring up a topic and have you guys come on and do those. So this is kind of like the intro into that. So those of you in YouTube land, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And thank you to these guys, Echo, Bobatrooper, and Walt, for showing up and doing this with me. And hopefully we get to do it again. Please like and subscribe on the video, and we'll see you next time. Peace.